Monarchy matters. It's really important to who we are as a country, what we are as a country, our link to our history, the sacramental nature of monarchy, a link to Christianity as well as to our constitution. And our monarchs over the centuries, indeed over more than centuries, well over 1,000 years, have been a force of stability and good. But monarchies are always dependent upon individuals, and in recent weeks and months, indeed over the last few years, there have been terrible problems besetting the monarchy. The royal family has not been at the heart of the nation in the way that it normally is, because things have detracted from it. This of course includes the former Prince Andrew and the current Duke of Sussex, Prince Harry, and his wife the Duchess of Sussex, Princess Harry if you want to call her that. They have not helped the monarchy. Indeed, they have both done, in their different ways, damage. The scandal involving the former Prince Andrew is of an enormous magnitude, and the desertion, really, the giving up of duty by the Duke of Sussex, undermines an institution that depends upon duty. That is what it's for, what it's about. Why do you go and fight for king and country? Because you believe that the king matters and that the king will do his duty. And the king, of course, does do his duty. And this is really the important point, that whereas the peripheries of the royal family, those who are gradually descending down the places of succession, falling in the line, have done the monarchy no favours, are in a degree of disgrace, the monarchy itself is sound with the king, with King Charles. He is amazingly active, carries out his duties and his constitutional responsibilities in spite of considerable ill health. He's, as we all know, had a terrible bout of cancer, but yet has struggled on, and he will go later this year to the United States of America to remind them of what a happy land it was when George III reigned and was their king. There may be many of them who would like our king to be their king too. He seems rather good at being head of state, does it with a certain style, dignity, panache, diplomatic success, that it has to be said has not been true of every American president. So he does that brilliantly well. But the heir is crucial. And here I think there has been such good news in recent days. Little things. I may be one of the very few people who reads the court circular. I may be in a minority of people who knows what the court circular is. It's a paper produced by the palace every day, listing what members of the royal family have been doing. It started in the Georgian period because people were complaining that false stories were printed about the king and the royal family, and they wanted to ensure that the truth was put out. And every day, the Times and the Daily Telegraph print the court circular, and it lists the King's engagements, it lists the engagements of the Prince of Wales, and indeed of the Princess of Wales, of the Queen, of the Duke of Kent, of the Duke of Gloucester, and enormously, of course, of the Princess Royal. These get listed, and they are routine engagements. They visit places, they go and see people, they award honours, they hold investitures. The King sees ambassadors hours before they go, greets those coming from other countries, from foreign countries, receives their credentials. But in recent years there was little activity from the Prince of Wales in the court circular, possibly because of course his wife had been so ill, and so on. But at the end of the year it looked as if he was not doing as much as his relations, particularly as his aunt, the Princess Royal, and his father, the King, struggling through ill health, as I mentioned. But now if you look at it, the Prince of Wales seems to be doing quite a lot of engagements. He has suddenly become much busier. And that's very important because the court circular is the formal notification of events. It reassures people when the tables of royal activity have drawn up that the Prince of Wales is active, which people want to see. As the late Queen supposedly said, she had to be seen to be believed. And therefore, if people see the Prince of Wales, their support for the monarchy will increase. And the other piece of excellent news is that the Prince of Wales has affirmed his Christian faith. This monarchy, our monarchy, is a Christian monarchy, or it is nothing. The king is an anointed king. He is anointed in the way that King David was anointed. There is an incredible religious continuity of anointing. Other than the Pope himself, he is the last anointed European monarch. The King of France, the King of Spain would historically have been anointed, but they are not anymore. The King of France is no longer occupying his throne. The King of England is still anointed in a ceremony of great antiquity. Even the ceremony of St. Dunstan, when he anointed King Edgar in Bath Abbey in the 10th century, was the continuation of an existing tradition. And it is where the monarchy has that special sacramental sense of being touched by God. I'm not talking about the divine right of kings. I'm not saying that they get all their decisions right, or that we should go back to the days of Charles I and have an absolutist monarchy. I'm saying that there is a special relationship between God and his king. And his king is anointed. It is, in a sense, a mark on the soul, in the same way as the Catechism tells us that for those of us who are baptized and confirmed, baptism and confirmation leave a mark on the soul of a particular kind. But to have that mark, you have to believe in it. You can't think it's all false. So the reassertion, or the assertion, because I don't think we had heard it before, by the Prince of Wales, that though he may be quiet about his faith, it is there, is very reassuring that he is capable of holding the post of an anointed monarch. And so, yes, there remains noise about Andrew, and there may be more noise. I'd better not go into it too much because of the sub judice rules, and he is entitled to a fair trial as much as anybody else if it gets to that stage. And the point of innocence until proved guilty applies to the mighty as well as to the weak. The Duke of Sussex, who continues with his American adventure, though I happen to think the British people would welcome him back warmly if he ever changed his mind. Those are distractions. They are not fundamental. Fundamental, the King, the Prince of Wales and Prince George. We have a king who does his duty, who is driven by duty, who works harder than most people of his age would even dream of doing, who fulfills what he was born to do. And the Prince of Wales is now showing he is following in that route, along his father's footsteps, and let's hope Prince George does the same. Because the strength of a constitutional monarchy is the monarch accepting, in a sense, the dullness of the role, the limitations of the role, that they are in tramlines off which they cannot get. They have to do things they do not want to do. They are not allowed to do things they might quite like to do. That is the essence of a constitutional monarchy, that they have that special place, that special link, that divinely sanctioned role through their anointing at the coronation. And how reassuring it is that the Prince of Wales is showing that he is doing his job through the court circular. It's not to say he wasn't doing it before, but he is now showing it, and he's affirming his faith, his Christian faith. God bless the Prince of Wales. God save the King. As always, thank you for watching, and you can see behind me, now the summer is out, that I am on a small roof terrace with the Victoria Tower behind me, a reminder of a great and noble queen who reigned over this country so successfully from 1837 to 1901. Thank you as always for watching.